California's real estate industry does not want you to see this video because their entire business depends on the idea that California land is priceless. And meanwhile, the Mojave and Colorado deserts are holding thousands of parcels that cost less than a laptop. In towns, the state simply stopped remembering. Today I'm counting down 12 forgotten California desert towns where land costs next to nothing, and the stories are stranger than the prices. We've got an entire town that was listed on eBay, failed to sell, and finally went for $425,000 to a fried chicken entrepreneur. A town that was bought by a marijuana company, then sold to a circus. A community that a utilities poisoned groundwater emptied so completely that the school closed and the buyouts erased whole streets. And a 1960s planned paradise with hundreds of miles of paved roads where lots still sell for the price of a mountain bike. If owning a piece of California for 4 figures sounds impossible, hit that subscribe button because the desert is about to argue with you. Let's count it down. Number 12, Rosamond. Rosamond sits in the Antelope Valley beside Edwards Air Force Base, which means the sonic booms are complimentary and the sky is a permanent air show. Land on the town's fringes trades for a few $1,000s an acre. Homes cost half of anything comparable over the mountains, and Willow Springs Raceway, one of the oldest road courses in America, howls on weekends. Rosamond calls itself the gateway to progress, which is ambitious for a town this quiet. But the aerospace paychecks next door are real, and the land under your feet costs almost nothing. Progress can commute. Number 11, Ludlow. Ludlow is a Route 66 survivor east of Barstow, reduced to a cafe, a gas station, a scatter of residents, and the photogenic ruins of everything else. The old mercantile crumbling beside the mother road, while trains thunder past on the Santa Fe line that birthed the town. Surrounding desert parcels go for pocket change, and the town functions as a service island in a sea of lava fields and silence. Ludlow is what happens when a town's economy shrinks to one exit ramp and decides that's enough. It is, barely, and beautifully. Number 10, Daggett. Daggett was hauling silver and borax out of the desert before Barstow existed, and its 200 residents live among genuine 1880s buildings, including a stone garage that served 20 mule teams. The town's second act was stranger. It hosted Solar One, the world's pioneering solar power tower, a field of mirrors aiming sunlight at a glowing central spire like desert science fiction, since dismantled. Homes and lots here cost next to nothing. The history runs 4 layers deep, and Interstate 40 hums past without stopping, which is exactly how the residents prefer it. Number 9, Baker. Baker's entire identity is a thermometer. The world's tallest, 134 feet, built to commemorate the 134-degree reading at nearby Death Valley, the hottest air temperature ever recorded on Earth, and it towers over a strip of gas stations, alien-themed jerky shops, and the Mad Greek Diner, serving the Vegas-bound millions who stop for exactly 11 minutes. Behind the strip, Baker is a tiny, scorching, deeply affordable community at the gateway to the Mojave National Preserve, where homes list at prices the thermometer regularly exceeds. People say nobody actually lives in Baker. A few hundred people do, and they've heard your joke before. Number 8, Desert Hot Springs. Desert Hot Springs sits on a geological miracle. 2 aquifers, one cold and pure, one naturally hot and mineral-rich, which made it a spa town where every motel could drill its own hot spring. It is also the Coachella Valley's perpetual afterthought, the affordable city across the freeway from Palm Springs money, with a rough patch of history that includes municipal bankruptcy. That combination, world-class water and a bruised reputation, keeps homes and land here at a fraction of the valley floor, while boutique spas quietly revive Motel Row. The rich soak in the same water 8 miles away. Here it comes out of your own tap, hot, and the mortgage is half. Number 7, 29 Palms. 29 Palms is a town of murals, dozens of them covering downtown walls with the area's history, wrapped around the largest Marine Corps base in the country, and serving as the northern gateway to Joshua Tree National Park. While the town of Joshua Tree next door got discovered, Airbnb'd and priced into the stratosphere, 29 Palms stayed a working military town with cheap homes, 5-acre desert parcels at used car prices, and a night sky the Marines respectfully leave alone. Same park, same boulders, same stars, roughly half the price. The tourists never learned to read a map, and the locals never corrected them. If you're still watching, the top 6 is where the town histories go completely off the rails, so hit that like button, because a circus is about to buy a town, and I need witnesses. Number 6. Borrego Springs. Borrego Springs is a town of 3,000 completely surrounded by California's largest state park, which means it can never sprawl, never strip mall, and never grow into something else. And it leaned into that fate by becoming California's first international dark sky community, where streetlights are scarce on purpose, and the Milky Way is municipal infrastructure. Scattered across the surrounding desert stand more than 130 giant rusted metal sculptures, dragons, mammoths, a 350-foot serpent crossing the road, built by artist Ricardo Braceda on land a late philanthropist set aside for exactly this kind of beautiful nonsense. Homes cost a fraction of San Diego, 2 hours away, and lots go for very little. A town guarded by a steel dragon, wrapped in a park, roofed with stars. Forgotten is the wrong word. Spared is closer. Number 5. Hinckley. I need to slow down here, because Hinckley is forgotten for the worst reason. This little farm community near Barstow is the town from Aaron Brockovich, where Pacific Gas and Electric contaminated the groundwater with chromium-6 for decades, leading to the landmark $333 million settlement in 1996. What Hollywood didn't film was the epilogue. The plume kept spreading. PG&E bought out and demolished home after home. The school closed in 2013, and the town has been steadily erased, parcel by parcel, until the map shows streets with almost nothing on them. Land in and around Hinckley costs next to nothing, because the reason is in the ground. I include it not as a bargain, but as a memorial with a cautionary deed attached. The cheapest land in California always has a story. Hinckley's story has a settlement number. Number 4, Salton City. Salton City is the grandest failed promise in the California desert. In the late 1950s, developers carved a master-planned resort paradise into the western shore of the Salton Sea. Hundreds of miles of paved streets, streetlights, a yacht club, water mains, all of it laid out for tens of thousands of residents who never came, because the sea itself began dying. Today, the vast street grid sits mostly empty, pavement cracking in perfect suburban curves around nothing, and the lots, tens of thousands of them, sell for as little as $2,000 to $5,000, some of the cheapest deeded, road-accessible land in the state. A few thousand residents live scattered through the grid, and lithium extraction projects at the sea's south end keep whispering about a second act. Salton City is a city-shaped shadow, fully plumbed for a future that took a different exit. The streets are still waiting. They're patient, and they're cheap. Number 3. Mojave. Mojave is a wind-blown railroad town that happens to host the most important runway in private spaceflight. The Mojave Air and Spaceport is where Spaceship One launched the first privately funded human spaceflight in 2004, where Voyager departed on the first unrefueled flight around the world in 1986, and where rows of retired airliners sit in the dry air like a museum nobody curated. The town beside all this history remains stubbornly cheap. Modest homes, inexpensive lots, wind farms churning on the hills. You can buy a house for the price of a parking spot in Santa Monica and watch experimental aircraft break records over your yard. The future takes off from Mojave daily. The rent never got the memo. Number 2. Nipton. Nipton is the town that keeps getting purchased. This 80-acre gold rush hamlet on the Nevada border, a hotel, a trading post, a schoolhouse, and a handful of residents, was bought in 2017 by a cannabis company that announced plans for a marijuana resort utopia, complete headline circus. The utopia fizzled, and in 2022 Nipton sold again, this time to Spiegelworld, the actual circus company behind Las Vegas's most famous adult spectacles, which now uses the town as a creative compound and roadside curiosity. An entire California town, sold to weed, then sold to the circus, is the single most honest real estate timeline of the modern era. The surrounding desert trades for almost nothing, and Nipton stands as proof that in the Mojave, you don't buy a house, you can buy the whole town, and someone eventually will, again. Number 1. Amboy. Amboy is the masterpiece of forgotten California. This Route 66 boomtown once had 13 businesses, 200 residents, a school, a church, and the glowing 50-foot neon sign of Roy's Motel and Cafe, until Interstate 40 opened in 1972 and took every car with it. The town emptied so completely that in 2003 it was listed on eBay for $1.5 million and could not find a buyer. In 2005, after foreclosure, Albert Okura, the founder of the Juan Pollo chicken chain and a Route 66 preservationist who already owned the original McDonald's site, bought all 950 acres of Amboy for $425,000, promising the founder's widow he would bring Roy's back. He reopened the gas station in 2008, remanufactured the neon, and relit the most photographed sign in the Mojave. Okura died in 2023 with the work unfinished. His son carries it on, and the 2024 census recorded Amboy's official population as 0, even as thousands of road trippers stop every month beside a volcanic crater that's a national natural landmark. An entire town, cheaper than a Los Angeles condo, kept alive by a chicken magnate's promise and a neon sign that outlived its customers. The desert forgets nothing. It just waits to see who comes back. That's the list. 12 California desert towns where the land costs next to nothing and every deed comes with a legend.